Yesterday, while we were on the air, the Carolina Panthers fired Matt Rule after the Panthers' 1-4 start to the season. Baker Mayfield has thrown 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions on the season. Now he's going to be playing for his 6th coach in 5 seasons. Shannon, what percentage of the blame does Baker Mayfield deserve here?
A lot more than my partner gonna give him, but I'm gonna give him a heap of it. I'm gonna load it up on it. I'm gonna make it like Thanksgiving. I'm gonna give him second helpings. Yes, I'm gonna give him some of everything. Mashed potatoes, mac and cheese.
He's the lowest hanging fruit ever in the history of the NFL, isn't he?
He ain't what you mean hanging. He on the ground. He rotten. He don't hanging on no tree. He rotten fruit. He been rotten for a while. But I've been trying to tell you that your head hard, but you're going to learn. All I know is that with a coach Baker Mayfield, unless you Kevin Stefanski, and Kevin Stefanski is like, I'm going to get you up out of here before you get me up out of here. Every other NFL coach that's ever coached Baker Mayfield has lost their job. And what's the common denominator? It doesn't matter where they are. You can be in Cleveland, you can be in Carolina. But if you coach him, it won't be long.
Wait, Kevin Stefanski's still in power, right?
Yeah, hold on.
Did he coach Baker Mayfield?
Hold on. I remember Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year, and Baker Mayfield talking about this man holding me back.
Yeah.
You held him back. You held him back from a championship.
Baker won that man Coach of the Year.
Well, Baker did that. No, Nick Chubb did. How can you not win when you got Nick Chubb running? Nick Chubb get 100 yards, he get out his bed, wake up. Yep, got 100 today, baby. Run for 100 every game. And you couldn't do it. Let me go back to this. Baker Mayfield and Carolina. He has the worst completion percentage. Doesn't matter. He has the worst QBR in the entire league. He has the worst completion percentage and QBR in the entire league. They're 31st in total yards. They're 28th in passing. They're last on third down. Now, Skip Bayless told me all offseason the NFL power rankings got the Carolina Panthers dead last.
Well, they were. 32nd.
And Baker Mayfield got him in that exact spot. Dead last.
Yep.
Now, I told you he was not exponentially better than Sam Darnold. But all you wanted to do was compare him to Sam Darnold.
But you did agree he was better than Sam Darnold. The guy that you wanted in that draft to go number 1 overall.
Skip,
You did. You wanted Sam Darnold. You staked your claim.
Skip. It's kind of, it's... ton of bricks, ton of feathers. Which is heavier? They weigh the same. A ton of bricks. People would think, man, a ton of bricks heavier than a ton of feathers. No, it's not. It's a ton. So basically, the same guy.
Baker Mayfield hit Cleveland like a ton of bricks when he was a rookie.
6 coaches in 5 years. What's the common denominator? Now, Greg Williams, Freddie K, Hugh Jack, Matt Rule. One more I'm missing. Who else leave out, Skip? I left out somebody. You know I left out somebody, but you didn't come to me a little later. Gone. The only guy that they have in common is one, Baker. What his middle name is? Get you fired Mayfield. That's his middle name. He got a new name. Get you fired.
Okay.
He's supposed to be a difference maker. I thought difference makers don't get coaches fired. What's the likelihood? Tom Brady never got nobody fired. I'm trying to figure out all these guys get fired. Dealing with him. DJ Moore had 3 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons. This man got less than 200 yards in 5 games. Man averaging 40 yards a game, thanks to him. Christian McCaffrey, C-Mac, healthy. Buffalo said, you know what, guys? Y'all don't know how to use him. We'll take him up off your hand. What y'all want for it? And so everybody finna come raid him now. And now all of a sudden he come show up in a walking boot. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
You're saying he's lying about his
Ain't nothing wrong with Baker. He must have had it on Sunday. He must have been wearing that walking boot the whole year. Did you see those passes?
I saw him come out with a busted ankle and play the whole second half.
Hold on.
He plays
that man has thrown 1 touchdown in the first half in 5 games. And you trying to tell me he's a difference maker. If you want to get fired, he's a difference maker. The only thing Matt Rule did was that he got 7 years of money and he still got like $40 million left. Because everybody knew the moment that he took on Baker Mayfield, what his fate was going to be. He was going to lose his job.
I think his fate was sealed before he ever heard of Baker Mayfield.
And Steve Wilkes, that's my homeboy. He coached at Savannah State. I know Wilkes.
Yep.
If Baker come back, it's just a matter of time.
Steve Wilkes went 3-13 in his one stint in Arizona as a head coach. Right?
With what happened? With Josh Rosen.
Okay.
You see what they do? You see that? Give him Kyler Murray.
I didn't like Josh Rosen. You actually did.
I didn't like no Josh Rosen. You got to give him somebody to work with. Josh Rosen out of the league. He done been on like 17 teams.
I predicted that before that draft.
Well,
Tell me when it's my turn.
I tell you what you didn't predict. That Baker Mayfield was going to be on the second team. We'd got 5 coaches fired with 2 teams. Well, damn.
Tell me when it's my turn.
It'll take off.
Thank you. Finally. So I said Baker Mayfield should go number 1 overall. Everybody laughed, and he went number 1 overall to the Cleveland Browns. And he took a team that was 0-16 the year before, a team that was 1-32 over its previous 2 seasons, to 7 victories as a rookie. And the Hall of Famer across me was won completely over and tried to preempt me, tried to usurp my bandwagon that I had built from the bottom up about Baker Mayfield. I'm taking over. Shake and bake, baby, said the Hall of Famer. He'd come in here every month. Shake and bake. I did try to tell you so because Baker can change a culture, and he changed the culture in Cleveland because they were a bunch of sad sack losers. And all of a sudden, to win 7 games as a rookie for that team, it was phenomenal. And you were won over because you were amazed at the way Baker's electricity lifted that team and that stadium.
Front run.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Front running.
All right. So then all of a sudden he's strapped with what's left of Odell, who's got surgery after surgery. He has 3 surgeries while he's in Cleveland. But it's Baker's fault. It's Baker's fault. Baker loved Odell. Baker wanted to be soulmates with Odell. They vacationed together. He's forcing him footballs to an Odell who couldn't get open the way he did in New York when he was healthy.
DJ Moore?
Okay.
Why can't he get into DJ Moore then?
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay.
So then all of a sudden, the clown show that is the Cleveland Clown Browns takes over, and they start firing coaches for reasons I don't know, because they hired the wrong guy, then they would fire him, then they would hire another wrong guy. They elevated Freddie K. You had no respect for Freddie Kitchens, and all of a sudden...
Baker signed up on him.
I don't even know how he got his job in the first place as offensive coordinator, and all of a sudden, going into year 2, he's the head coach of the Clowns?
Did Baker not sign off on Freddie K?
What? He's got no choice.
Yes, he does.
Oh, come on.
Oh, now he ain't got no
rookie.
choice.
Well,
now, see, anybody else, you're like, oh, you do this all the time for LeBron. LeBron wanted Russell Wilson, so LeBron James should be held accountable.
He wanted Westbrook, but he didn't want Wilson.
Russell.
Yep.
Now, he wanted Freddie K. He wanted Freddie K.
Freddie K's a good guy who has no idea.
That's your guy.
Okay, and all of a sudden we're going to another coach, and finally he winds up with Stefanski, who does have a clue. They clashed, and
why did they clash?
Because Baker was hurt. In game number 2 of that final season, he fractures his left shoulder and tears his labrum, and tries to suck it up and gut it out for Stefanski, and Stefanski shuts him down and won't let him throw.
Okay, so.
All right, but what were they coming off of the year before? Baker goes on a tear after Odell went down and out at Cincinnati. A tear. You can't take it away. You can't. You try to discredit it. You try to tear it all apart. But he goes 8-3 down the stretch. He beats Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh in a playoff game with a QBR of 91.
Blake Bortles beat Pittsburgh with a QBR of 92.
Well, we're talking about Baker Mayfield
so it don't mean
right
anything,
now.
right?
Okay?
So Blake Bortles retired. Maybe he should try that. See what you
What did they call Blake Bortles' team? Saxonville, because they could get after the quarterback.
Let me ask you this. See what you try to do. You say I can't discount it. What you can't do, you can't transport it to any other season. You got that 11 games.
I saw it. It happened.
And I've seen everything subsequent happen.
All right. So he has 1 injured year. They have a shot at Deshaun, and I'm biggest Deshaun fan on the football field, and I said, go for it. And they went for it, hook, line, and sinker, and now they got to live with all the off the field. We'll get into that later. But I can't condemn them for going after Deshaun because he's way better than Baker, because he's way better than just about everybody in the league.
But Skip, Deshaun wasn't the number 1 pick in the draft. Baker was. You hit your way. You see how
I love Deshaun at Clemson. I loved him a lot more than you did.
No. I love Deshaun. He's a Georgia boy. Hey, so I'm Gainesville, the Red Elephants. I know everything about it. But here's the thing. You campaigned for Baker to be number 1 pick. I didn't hear you campaigning for Deshaun to be the number 1 pick. Now, with that being said, now you done jumped off him. Well, they get a chance to get Deshaun Watson. If that's your guy, ride with him.
Okay, here's the issue. So Baker had a choice to just suck it up and sit still and keep quiet and play it out with Cleveland and force them to cut him, which they were about to have to do. And at the last second, he said, if Carolina's showing some interest in me, I'm going to go walk on there just like I walked on at Texas Tech and Oklahoma where I won the Heisman Trophy. And he goes and walks on, and he bit off more than he could chew because that's an even bigger clown show than the Browns are a clown show. That's what happened. And I thought he could turn it around, and he almost did. In game number 1, he throws for 155 in the fourth quarter and brings them all the way back in a big revenge game against the Clowns. It's 24-23. And then the play of the year for the Carolina Panthers is the uncalled intentional grounding on Jacoby Brissett. It would have ended the game. It's right here. He takes a step back. That's illegal. And one ref throws a flag, and the head referee overrules. And I don't know why. Even Matt Rule knew the rule at that point. And yet, you're playing for a Matt Rule who looked like an imposter to me, like he didn't even belong on an NFL sideline. He was a little guy trying to act big.
That's what they said about Baker.
Okay,
he's trying to play quarterback.
Do you realize who was calling plays for Baker Mayfield? It was the clown from the Giants. It was the guy you have no respect for.
Oh, the guy that took the Giants to the playoffs? The last time the Giants went to the playoffs?
The last time they went to the playoffs? He's up there with his Cheesecake Factory menu trying to hide behind it. He's the one calling plays. It's a clown show.
Whoa.
And you know what? In the end, even Tom Brady couldn't have risen above this year's Carolina Panthers.
Well, guess what? Tell Baker to keep his costume because he dressed perfectly.
Yeah.
He pretended to be a quarterback because he had a real. And so if he steps out in that uniform, nobody will know he's Baker Mayfield. They say, "Oh my goodness, you got an official uniform." Oh my goodness, not even realize that's Baker Mayfield because that's how bad he's been.
And then the owner, David Tepper. He doesn't look like he has a clue. He's going out with a reporter yesterday, but he's actually admitting to the reporter, Scott Foster of the Charlotte Observer, I read your columns. I can regurgitate your columns. It's like he is letting the media define his decision-making.
Yeah, but like taking on Baker Mayfield.
Way to go.
At some point in time, Baker, hey, you keep talking about David Tepper, you talk about Matt Rule, but you refuse. You even blame Odell, but you have yet to place the guy that's pulling the trigger, the guy that's throwing the passes. You have yet to lay any blame at the feet of Baker Mayfield.
I will right here, right now. There's one thing I still don't love about Baker Mayfield. He wants to be the Pete Davidson of the NFL. He wants to be the it kid. He wants to be in all the commercials. He's still the star of stars in the Heisman commercials for Nissan. Yeah. Heisman House. It always comes down to Baker gets the last line.
Yeah, but Skip, most of the time, most of these Heisman guys, these guys are so old, this new generation don't even know who half those guys are.
Well,
other
I told
than him,
you.
Kyler, Devontae, and Derrick Henry.
The progressive ads did in Baker Mayfield because they were so relentless that the target on his back was too big for Baker.
Baker's ability did him in. His inability did him in. I can play what? Couldn't he play dead in a horror movie?
Oh, really?
No, he sure couldn't.
Oh, really? How did he win 7 games as a rookie?
7 games, really? They played 16.
For an 0-16 team? Are you kidding me?
And guess what? The same fate that befell Sam Darnold that you say, Sam Darnold, he got traded. He's up out of there. Your guy got traded for less than Sam Darnold, and guess what? He looks worse than Sam Darnold did.
If the first game hadn't gotten stolen out from under the Carolina Panthers, we'd be having a different conversation because he is a front runner, and he would have had some front to run with.
Guess what? If Baker Mayfield was what you said he was, he shouldn't even been in that position. But he hasn't been, and he never will be what you thought he would be, and you won't admit it. You blame Odell. Guess what? 5 years from now, you'll still be blaming Odell, and you'll still be pinning your hopes on he went 8-3 over the final 11 games. But what did he do since then? He might not win 11 games in the rest of his career.
Well, who are you going to blame for Wentz? Who are you going to blame for Tua?
This is not about Wentz.
Who are you going to blame? It's about Sam Darnold.
This is not about Wentz. This is not about Tua. This is not about Sam Darnold. None of those guys have gotten as many coaches fired combined. If you combine all 3 guys that you mentioned, none of them has gotten more coaches fired than that one man.
Wentz is on his 3rd team.
One man.
Wentz. I'm wincing.
Your guy, guess what? Next year, he'll be on his 3rd team. You want to bet?
He'll be a free agent.
Yeah, he'll be a free agent. He's free. Yeah. And don't nobody want him. How you not want something that's free? Everybody.